Hi everybody, my name is Olivia Gudaniec, and if you're here, it's because you're interested in interior design. You have it right now as a hobby and you're thinking about maybe either going back to school or taking an online program. So I thought this would be a good idea to just make a video since I signed up for the Interior Design Institute, which is an online program. I also just moved. So I'm going to share with you a bit of things that I've learned from that program and how it's impacted my new space. And if you love design and fashion, you can follow me also on Instagram and TikTok. My handle is the same throughout. And without further ado, let's just get right into it. Interior design for beginners. Let's go. One of the first things you learn at the Interior Design Institute are the 7 elements of design. I thought we would go through those. I would explain briefly what each one is, relate it back to my space in hopes to get you thinking critically about your next project, because let's be honest, we're all itching to do the next renovation, right? Okay, let's go. And for the purpose of this video, we're gonna focus on my brand new kitchen. But let me just have a snack first. No, I'm kidding, let's go. The first element of design is space. And what we're thinking when we think space is usually the length, height, and the width, but we also wanna think about the feeling of a space. This is a kitchen, so obviously it's got to be functional. I also wanted it to be a little cozy, and because I'm in an open concept space, my living room slash dining room slash great room is right here. So I'm kind of merging those together, and I'm thinking about that in the process. Also, when we're thinking about space, there is positive and negative space. As you can probably guess, negative allows your eye to flow. It's empty space. I like to keep the island empty so it's not cluttered. So you have the option to put something down when you get home. You have the option to serve, etc. Positive space, obviously, what do you want to fill your space with? I'll get to why I chose what I chose in a minute. So right now I have an amazing view, and that is kind of the focal point of this room. Even though the kitchen is here, I'm almost catering to the view. And it's just something you want to keep in mind of for your space. If you've got like some accent ceiling, that's something you're going to consider with the space. When you want to ask your clients, what do they want to focus on? The next element of design is lines. So let's look at a space and let's see what we see. Number one, I would say with the door handles, I went for a bold color and the lines are vertical. So I want to shoot the eye up because I have 10-foot ceilings. This is a feature in my space that I want to highlight. So I feel like that does it. What do you think? I also wanted to encourage movement by doing a backsplash that has kind of diagonal lines, which allows the eye to move, and I think it complements the door handles as well. It kind of just allows flow. Obviously, if you have like harsher lines, it's more like energetic, softer lines in your space, more feminine and calm. I've also got circular shapes here, and with my pots here, just to bring in an element of femininity and softness. I also have some fun facts about lines. Vertical lines make a space taller, and vertical lines make a wider space more narrow. These are just fun facts to learn. It's kind of just so you have it in your toolkit. You know what I mean? Also, light comes into play, which we will cover light in a minute, but how the light comes into your space can also create a line. I don't have harsh light here, so I can't really demonstrate that, but I'll put up some examples. But if you are in a place where the sun is shining really hard, and let's say the geography of your place creates a massive shadow, you can use that as part of your ambiance slash decor. You know what I mean? Hopefully we're on the same page here. I also want to mention vertical lines are really popular and trending over the last few years, and I don't see it going away. So when you think of shiplap and you think of people putting it horizontal or vertical, or even those wooden beams that are really popular now, that is just something you can keep in mind when you are playing with lines in a space. Now we're going to talk about shapes. What shapes are present here in your space to just be aware of? I feel like we've kind of covered this briefly, but we've got like a rectangle here, circles here. My cabinets are rectangles. Some are horizontal, some are vertical, and it's all about what you want to do with the space. So are you going to want to make some structural changes? I'm in a condo. This is just temporary for me, so I will not be tearing down a wall to create some arches, even though I really want to do that in my next space. You know, like the doorways with the arches. I just find it so, I don't want to say old-fashioned, but like feminine, delicate, and I guess it's kind of trendy right now too. But in this space, I don't think you can even do anything of that sort. So it's not an option for me, but this is the point of the process where you can decide if you want to change the shapes in your space. You can also change the feeling of a space with your doorknobs. If you don't like the rectangular ones and you want it more romanticized, I'm just going that way because I want to be in my ultimate feminine era for the next year. So if I could do this again, if I didn't do those, I would probably put some circular ones, maybe gold, maybe brass, I don't know, but it's just something to think about. The interior design course has different names for all these shapes. So I'm going to list them out over here just so you can have them as reference. And these shapes just mean, but obviously if you say square, rectangle, people are gonna know. It's just, you know, if you wanna come across extra professional, there you go. Also with shapes, you wanna think about the point of interest. So my point of interest is the view I have, and that is more of a square. So I don't really want to cover that up. Normally in homes, I would put curtains and everything. I did still put the rolling blinds just to have the option of privacy, but I'm also on the top floor, so I think it works for the space and everything is kind of catered to make the eye look that way. Look up, flow, you know, ease and flow, ease and flow. And also doors come into play with shapes too. Some of them have designs, you can play around with the handles. In this particular space, I only have a patio door, which I'm not touching, but you can play around with that. You can also paint the doors to accentuate the shape. Just saying, they're nice accents. Okay, moving on. Next up is color. When I first moved in here, I did originally choose a gray color. You know that millennial gray that is completely outdated now? This was a new pre-construction home, so by the time it was built, the color is out. The first thing I did was swap it out to a warm beige. So it's almost white, but I think it just suits the space so much better. Obviously, color affects mood. I'm thinking I want to sell this place in a year or two, so I want a neutral canvas. Let me know if you have a space where you actually play around with color and how you're still liking it. Are you still liking it? I remember in one of my old homes, I painted a green accent wall and I liked it for a year or two, and then I was just over it, and it was such a deep green, and I think I would have to hire somebody to, you know, do the job because I don't have the patience to sand, prime, and do all that. But we're talking about this kitchen. You can't see the walls, but the walls affect the space. See how it's all connected? So yes, obviously I went for a neutral palette, easier to sell, easier to match things, and when I want to switch out my accessories, I find it's just gonna be easier to work with per season. Here's something that's bothering me from the space that I wish I took the time at the design studio to just play around with, but I also didn't have the eye a few years ago. And now when you are looking at tones, it's really bothering me. So my countertops are cool, as are my floors. It's a gray. Gray is out. We are over gray. We are moving on. We are graduating from gray. Are you with me or are you still there? If you are, no shame. It's your space. You do what you want. This is my personal opinion. But anyways, countertops are cool. Floors are cool. But the actual cabinetry is warm toned. So when you see it separate, it's fine, but when I turn the camera around, I'm gonna show you, it's bothering me. It is bothering me because the cool tone countertops almost have a pinky element to it, and the warm cabinets have more of a yellow, and to me, I don't like it, but I'm not changing this out. I just moved here, so we are making it work. And sometimes you're gonna have projects where, you know, your client, customer doesn't want to change that. And how are you going to make the space work with the colors to give them the result that they want? I want to show you how important texture is through fashion, and maybe once you visually see it in an outfit, you'll be able to start implementing it in your space. So here we go. Let's elevate this basic outfit through texture. Starting with this vest, we are going to add a layer which automatically adds a point of visual interest. And your shoes are another way to experiment with pattern and texture. And if it's cold enough, add a jacket in a contrasting color to your textured piece to make it pop. Next up is texture. Rough, hard, soft, shiny, you name it, glossy, matte. We have got to play around with what we have. The walls, when I painted, I made sure they were eggshell because the builder grade has a matte finish, which does look good, but it's very easy to get dirty. The rest of the place, yeah, I had to paint it. My flow for this place is 2-flow, so eggshell, easy to wash, it's got a bit of shine. So we're just flowing, keep it going. Also, for texture, we've got these pendant lights, which obviously it's visual texture, it's a visual point of interest. I find I wanted this place to ground me, kind of give beachy vibes, organic vibes, even though it's got a bit of contemporary modern look. I wanted to ground it, and I did that through those elements. You saw in my other clips that I have a salt lamp. So I'm really trying to, oh look, wooden cutting board, plants, nature, just to be at one and calm. I really want the nervous system to be regulated and not like, oh my God, let's go, because my brain is already like that, so I want my space to relax me. And if that's the vibe you're going for, I encourage it, I love it, let's talk about it, message me down below. Another visual point of interest, I know we're focusing on the kitchen, but I included a textured blanket right over here. You saw at the beginning of my video, just something to feel cozy in, but also draw the eye to. So you come in, you're looking at the pendant lights, we've got negative space here to flow into a gorgeous couch where you're just gonna relax and all your troubles will melt away. Or so we hope. So I wanna ask you, what is one item in your space / room that has texture? And if everything's kind of looking the same, this is a great way to give it some personality. All right, let's move on to light. And this is the part I've been really waiting for, so I can turn these lights on and these let there be light. And now we have light. We have artificial light and we have natural light. So for the most part throughout the day, I keep this off. I have a lot of light coming in, but obviously if you want the ambiance, we've got the pendant lights and we've got the under the cabinet. I would definitely recommend going into some home hardware, Home Depot, doing some research online for light bulbs. What is more cool? What is more warm? I definitely want this whole space warm. And some lights are also adjustable. So I know I can play around with these and adjust. These have light bulbs, so I will actually physically have to replace them. Something to just think about, which can really impact a space. And the last element of design is pattern. So unlike texture, which is 3D, pattern is more 2D. So do you want to incorporate pattern in a rug, in artwork that's hanging, or your clients, in specific stonework? The opportunities are endless. For this space, I would say the only pattern I really have is here as my backsplash. That works for me. I don't need, I mean, I would love black and white tiles, maybe in like a laundry room, but again, it's for the space and what you have in mind for the overall theme / ambiance. Let me know if you are somebody that loves playing with patterns. What are some cool patterns that are coming up for you? Why are you drawn to that? This is just the point in the process where you can analyze why, what effect is it going to give, and how does it make you feel overall? Because a space is supposed to make you feel good. And I know if you're designing it, it's in good hands. Thank you so much for watching till the end. I hope you've gotten some value, you've learned some new terminology, and you just have an idea of what the Interior Design Institute program, like what it can do for you. I feel like it's just filling in those gaps of knowledge, of terminology, and it gives me a different perspective on why things look good. So instead of just being like, oh yeah, that's lovely, you're actually analytical in why it's like that, how you can recreate it, what you can look for, and I just feel more confident overall, so I definitely recommend the course. It's a 6-month to 1-year program. You can pay to extend it, and how it actually works is that after each module, you submit it to an actual interior designer who then marks it, and once you pass, you then go on and get access to the next module. If you are not sure if interior design is right for you yet, you don't have to go through the whole program. Take what you can from it, like I did, and if you are sure that you want a diploma, certificate, something to ease the mind of your potential future clients, I definitely think this is a better alternative because it's flexible, it's affordable, it's self-paced, and it's online. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to subscribe if you want more videos like this.